musicianship runs in my family. I can't help it. Some stuff's genetic, and I guess that skill set kind of is. My mom, she used to play different instruments in school. I've been playing instruments for a long time now, like 25 years, whatever the fuck it's been. Long time, right? My brother plays, my dad doesn't, and my grandfather built some instruments and played them a little bit, but who we'd always talked about was my great grandfather. Now, I met my great grandfather, I never talked to him. He was in a hospital bed, he never said anything. But my grandfather was a tough man, a prideful man, a lot of different shit. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to, and it's not prevalent to the story. But my grandmother never refuted the story either. And apparently, if I remember right, it was her dad that had that situation. Now, if you know anything about country music at all, you know the Grand Ole Opry. My grandparents were from Tennessee. So, it was right there. It's also, the Grand Ole Opry is the birthplace of bluegrass. So, because of that, it's a very prestigious thing where even, unfortunately, Hank Williams is not allowed inside there. Like, they have a statue of him outside, they won't put him inside. But I know that they'll never put up a statue of my great-grandfather because he told them to kiss his ass. But the story always has been, from what I've heard, is he was a farmer and a fiddle player. And a damn good fiddle player at that. To the point where the Grand Ole Opry, said, hey, we want you on. We want you to be part of the group. Which probably would have meant, hey, we want you to play with Bill Monroe. So, he said no. I have a family to raise, everything else. And he just wouldn't do it. He refused to do it, right? Now, I tell you that to tell you this. I didn't like country as a kid. I liked some shit like fucking Johnny Cash. And as I got older, there's more stuff I like because it's about real life and everything else. Just like any kind of music that people can relate to, there's real life put throughout it. And I'm now a mandolin player as well. I need to restring it and play it more. But that goes into this other story. Okay, me and my ex broke up. This wasn't long after we broke up. It was mutual. We don't like each other, and she moved on, and that's great. She moved on before the relationship was over. Let's just put it that way. And I was fine with it, but I'm finally out. I'm finally out by myself. I'm finally out of the relationship, and I'm catching the show I want to catch. It's Jake Orvis. He's a mandolin player, right? So, I'm pretty much broke. I have dorm money enough for like 2 drinks. And I'm talking to Jake that night. Now, I've never met this man before. I've never met this man since. I don't know how he is personally. But we get talking for a minute, and I'm like, Jake, I think I have a story that you've never heard before. And he's like, wait, it doesn't involve me, right? And I'm like, no, shit, no. Right? And of course it doesn't. But it does involve the Grand Ole Opry. And he's like, it kind of went back and forth, but I'm like, hey dude, I'm just going to tell you this shit, you can walk away or not. And I told him what I told you, basically more in depth, which there's a lot more depth to it, because all I really heard is he couldn't support his family, so he told him to kiss his ass. And that gained respect of people, gained respect of me too. Don't know how true it is. But there's always opportunities. That doesn't mean you need to take them, right? So I'm telling him this shit, and he's like, alright, you know what? Here's a patch, here's, this CD right here. It's been cool talking to you, man. And I'm like, hey, alright, have fun on a tour. Because they were taking off for tour. And he's like, just whatever. And I don't know what it was that night, but I've seen videos of him playing and shit like that, right? I've seen all kinds of shit. But the energy that that man put forward that night, you know, it reminds me of basically, you know, the same shit from the bluegrass times, because he's a bluegrass player. But it's like, oh shit, this is the kind of thing, like a full circle type feeling, you know what I mean? And it kind of changed my life a little bit, to be completely fucking honest with you, because I saw things a bit different from that point forward. Like, dude, if I've understood playing with passion, right? And I've understood you can do a lot with a little. But the ones that show me that you can really do it all by yourself, and that one person can make a huge impact. On stage, it would be John Brandon from Negative Approach. Two of my old singers. I would say three, but only two for sure. Jake Orvis, Husky Burnette, and Leroy Virgil.